Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. In this podcast, we will talk about war and peace. We will travel through Ukraine, across the United States and Europe, and then to the Middle East, where Gaza and its neighbors face fire and fear. Our goal is not only to understand the conflicts, but also to reflect on what humanity truly needs today. The world today feels like a movie where the sky is dark, sirens scream through the night, and families run with nothing but hope in their hands. But this is not cinema. This is real life. Our story begins in Ukraine, a land where tragedy and courage walk side by side. Russia has invaded Ukraine. The news shook the world like a thunderclap. In the first days, many believed Kyiv would fall quickly. But the city stood. Ukraine stood. We saw teachers turn into soldiers. We saw farmers using tractors to pull away tanks. We saw ordinary people build barricades from sandbags and wood. This is not only a war of armies. It is a war of spirit, a war of survival. Yet, tragedy covers the land. Millions of refugees cross into Poland, Germany, and beyond. Children grow up in basements, hearing bombs instead of lullabies. Cities like Mariupol are turned to dust. And still, Ukraine resists. It is a story of pain, but also of courage. And behind this story of survival, we find another giant shaping the battlefield. Let us move to the United States. Behind Ukraine stands the United States. Billions of dollars in weapons, trucks filled with food and medical aid, and satellites that watch every move of the Russian army. The US says, "We defend freedom. We stand with democracy." And many people believe this is true. But there is also calculation. By helping Ukraine, America weakens Russia. And by weakening Russia, America sends a message to China. The message is simple. Do not redraw maps with force. Some critics say America is playing with fire. Others say America is the only reason Ukraine still survives. The truth may be both. And in this play of nations, America is the giant behind the curtain. But America does not stand alone. Across the Atlantic, Europe too must face its past and its fears. Let us now turn to Europe. Europe is close to the fire, and Europe remembers. It remembers the First World War, the Second World War, cities in ruins, millions of graves, generations lost. Now, as Ukraine burns, old fears return. The United Kingdom sends weapons and training. France calls for diplomacy, seeking peace at the table. Germany, hesitant at first, now sends tanks and aid. But beneath unity, there is fear. 0. 3. Fear of energy shortages, fear of refugee waves, fear of nuclear escalation. For Europe, this war is not just about Ukraine. It is about survival. And while Europe struggles, another fire burns in the Middle East. This fire is the Gaza conflict, and it shakes the whole region. In Gaza, the sound of rockets and airstrikes fills the sky. Families hide in crowded shelters. Children cry in the dark, waiting for silence that never comes. Israel says it must defend itself. Palestinians say they must survive occupation. And between them, ordinary people suffer the most. The war in Gaza is not isolated. It pulls in neighbors and rivals alike. Lebanon feels the tension. Syria watches with caution. Iran sends words and weapons from afar. The Middle East becomes a chessboard. Every move in Gaza changes the balance across the region. And the world fears that a local fire could become a regional storm. And after walking through Ukraine, America, Europe, and Gaza, we arrive at the heart of our story, the uncertain future of our world. So where does this leave us? The world is at a crossroad. One path leads to peace. The other path leads to global war. The climax has not yet come. We live inside the story, not at its end. But history whispers to us. Wars end. But they end with loss, with sorrow, with graves. The future depends not only on leaders, but on people everywhere. On the wisdom to choose dialogue over destruction. On the courage to demand peace. And so, as the world holds its breath, waiting for the next dawn, one truth shines through. What we need is not more weapons, but more wisdom. Thank you for joining me today. This has been a journey through war, struggle, and the hope for peace. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and let us all keep the light of peace alive.